So the presenter for today's GoToWebinar is going to be Terry Autry. She's Customer Support Department Lead and extremely knowledgeable of all of our practice admin suite of products. Next slide, please. So on the webinar today, you can raise your hand, and you can also type in questions into the chat. And if you have any kind of support or sales-related questions, we can address them at a later time. Just put your question in the chat box, and we'll decide if we need to give your question to somebody else. So next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and let Terry get set up, and so she can start showing you the great new features of 7.2. Terry, are you ready?
I'm ready. Hey, thanks everybody for joining. We appreciate your time today, and so I'm going to go through and show you what we've updated in our system on our last couple of releases. Just want to make sure you all are aware, and we're excited about them, so we want you all to become excited about them. So we're using a demo practice here so that we can kind of show real time what it would look like on your end. So the first item we're going to cover is the the Payments tab. So we're going to click here on Payments tab, and you'll notice we now have a Patient Payments section on the web application. Basically, this is the same Patient Payments feature that's located in the Billing Manager. And what we've done by making it available here on the web application, we're trying to make it easier for, let's say, your front desk, who typically is not in there entering charges in the Billing Manager or posting insurance payments. So really, they only need access to the scheduler and the web application. Now they don't have to launch Billing Manager to post a patient payment. And you'll find that the feature works exactly the same as it does in Billing Manager. So you're basically going to search for your patient, and then you're going to enter the details, and basically you're going to get a receipt just like you would from the Billing Manager. Let's say they have a $25 copay. They're paying with a check, and apply to claim if possible. And then when you save, you would get your print receipt for the patient, just like you normally would. Another reason, or another option that we brought over that's also part of the Billing Manager is the unapplied payment. So if somebody had recently just entered a patient payment, like you'll notice right here, and they found that they actually needed to edit, let's say, the check number or the date received or the date of service that the payment would go towards, the option to do that is in here as well. So again, you don't have to launch the Billing Manager to make some of these patient payment changes. All right. Also, what we've done, we've reorganized, or we've repositioned this EDI Payments sub-tab here. This used to be located under the Billing Manager, or excuse me, under the Billing tab. Basically, now that we have a Payments tab, we want to go ahead and put it where it makes sense. And we just wanted to point out, this was an existing feature, but we're not sure everybody knew that you can come in here, and this also mirrors a lot of what's happening in the Billing Manager. So now through the web app, you have access to come in and search for your ERAs by date range. Let's just show you. We have some dated information here, so we'll go back and get some ERAs. So now we've searched by your date range, and you do have the option in here to actually print off a copy of an ERA. You can search by an ERA check or claim number. And this all ties in with our goal of moving more and more services from the Billing Manager into the web application. And so that is something that we are working on. Our future goals is to eventually have all that functionality here in the web app for you. And you'll notice your posted pending review. Everything that's in the billing manager related to viewing the ERAs is also located here in the EDI payments. And then finally, under this payments tab, we have the payments portal. We are developing a relationship with a vendor that will offer a patient portal so that your patients can go in and have a website that they can go into and make statement payments. The payments portal here would be like an administrative access into a dashboard for that product. If that's something that you're interested in and would like to find more information on, please feel free to email our sales team at sales@practiceadmin.com for some additional information. All right, let's see here. So now we're going to go look at the scheduling tab. One moment, please. All right. Now you'll notice this change, I'm sure most of you have noticed who use our scheduler. As soon as you click on the scheduling tab, you now have the view of a read-only schedule here. And so you can go in and select the providers that you would like to view their current schedule. And you'll notice here's their appointments. You cannot move appointments around from in here. However, you can see, the appointment details so that if you needed to call a patient and you were accessing this website from, a tablet or, even anything other than just your standard, right, where you don't, excuse me, let me start that over. Now you can access this information from additional web browsers, is what I was trying to get to, such as Edge and Chrome. It's not just limited to our preferred browser of Internet Explorer. So you have access to this information without having to launch a schedule manager. All right, so you've got your patient info here. And in making this change, you'll see that now we have the Launch Schedule Manager button in the top left corner. And so that would still give you access to our scheduler. Just some other navigational. So you can review the schedule by multiple providers. So you can look at the one-day view, or you can look at the week view. And this refresh button, as new appointments are made, you would want to make sure that you're refreshing. All righty, let's see here. We've got there we go. There's our week view. There's some appointments. Excuse me. All right, and you'll see how that mirrors the appointment scheduler, schedule manager right here. All right, so as mentioned, Practice Admin can now support Chrome and Edge web browsers. You do want to continue to use our preferred browser, Internet Explorer, when you are launching and using the schedule manager or the billing manager. But when you're working in this web application, feel free to use Chrome, Edge, or Internet Explorer. Another change I wanted to point out to you in this top right corner here, you'll notice that to the right of your practice name, you now have your account ID number. The information is here in the top right, as well as that account ID number is located in the setup right here under account ID. This is good information when you're submitting a ticket to support or when you're calling support. It's just it's a great way to identify your account to us. All righty, let's see here. The next item I wanted to touch on is our Documents tab here. So we are working with a document solutions vendor. If you have a lot of paper in your office and you're needing a secure way to manage that, we have a vendor that we partnered with, and we'd be happy to discuss that option with you. So again, feel free to reach out to our sales team if you have any interest in that type of a product, and that's sales@practiceadmin.com, or you can always call our support line, and it's got the option for sales to speak with them there as well. All right, another updated feature, or actually a brand new feature that we have, is the Cpt Templates. So we're gonna go from the Setup tab, General. We're gonna scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we have the Cpt Templates field. And I want to just show you what this one looks like that's already been set up. If you have a specific visit, so let's say this example, this well male visit or wellness exam for a male, you can go ahead and set up the Cpt template. It's set by a diagnosis code. You would then add in all of the CPTs that you would typically bill with that appointment. Add units, you can put in modifiers, your diagnosis pointer. And here is what happens. So we've already got a patient here, and when we go to claim details, over in the right-hand corner, we would click on this box for Cpt template, well male visit to double click. Yes, we want to save the template, and it automatically fills in all 4 charge lines, as well as our diagnosis. So our goal is, when you have a lot of repetitive data entry, we want to make that as easy as possible for you. When you're bundling a bunch of codes, you can now pre-program those in and have those to pull in as you're entering charges. If you need additional information on that, please feel free to reach out to our support department. We'd be happy to send you additional steps on how to make that happen for your practice. All right, while we're in here looking at claim, we've also updated some features and added some features to make UBO4 billing much easier for everyone. So let's go back to General, and we're going to check the facility bill box for this claim. And you'll notice how it changes the claim details. What we've added is the admission hour, discharge hour, admission type, admission source, and then we have 3 value codes, 39A, 40A, and 41A. You'll notice, so now it's real easy to go ahead and enter everything that's needed for your UBO4 billing. In addition, we have updated our eligibility display update, so I wanted to make sure and mention that as well. If you're using our eligibility feature, you'll notice that that's been enhanced. If you haven't, feel free to go and play with that eligibility feature, and you can see what we've done there. And the last item that I wanted to touch on is something here in the Today screen. For any of our practices or services that are using an EMR solution, an interface in our system currently, you're familiar with this imported charges. Previously, this imported charges, you could only release 1 claim at a time. So although it's nice that everything flows in here from your EMR and was in 1 bucket all ready to go, you did still have to individually review them. What we've done is we've updated this to have a bulk release. You all may be familiar with the bulk rebill. However, this is the bulk release. So at first pass, if your claims are coming in with everything correctly from the EMR, then you can go ahead and bulk release. So now all 21 claims would go ahead and go into the awaiting claim file creation or the pending printing payer bucket. All right, I think that's everything that we wanted to cover. Let's just look at the agenda, make sure we didn't miss anything. All right, so we went through the Payments tab, Scheduling tab, our new browser support. Yes.
Hey, I've got a question for you here as we're getting towards the end. So back on the bulk release, if you can go back over there, could you explain to everybody what happened if they hit bulk release and there are any issues? Because the claim scrubbing and everything is still going to happen. So can you tell them what bucket it goes into if there are any issues?
Mm-hmm. Correct, yes. So if there is something not right with the claim, then what will happen is it will end up in a, do I see it on here? We do have a bucket. This particular practice doesn't have one, but it would go into the claim scrubbing errors bucket. And so then you could go through and work those claims, and if it was, something was not right with the coding or with the information, then you would see that in there and you could go in and fix it. It would not go out to the payer until the claim was correct. It's not leaving our system.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
So it looks like we've hit the Q&A section of the webinar, if I'm not mistaken. So we want to open it up for anybody that has any questions about anything that Terry has gone over today. Terry, I already have a question in from a user, and if you don't mind, I'm going to answer it because I know the answer to the question. Somebody had said that they're currently using one of the features, which are the value codes, and that there are a lot of value codes missing from the drop-down, and they're asking if we can add them. And the answer is yes. Just to be very specific, when the feature was added, and I looked at the amount of value codes that there were, it was a bit overwhelming, and so I figured, and we always want feedback to come from our customers to make sure that we're putting the information in that is most relevant to their practice and what they can use the best. So this person who has entered this chat, just know that I'm going to be entering in a ticket into support so we can get that updated for you. So I want to encourage anybody else who's out there, any other questions that you may have, kind of an open forum. So if there's anything about the features that you'd like to see enhanced, the way that you're using them, if this was helpful to you, we'd love to know. We want to start doing this with every release going forward to make sure that everybody gets as most out of the new releases as they can. We also hope that the last release was pretty smooth, correct, Terry? We hope that it didn't do any kind of disruption to anyone's workflow. So that's always a good thing if you didn't get disrupted by anything that was added in.
Agreed. It seemed to go pretty well from our end. Hopefully that's the case from y'all's end.
Exactly. Like I said, we love that feedback, and we really want to hear from all of the customers and make sure that we're heading in the right direction with all our new functions and features inside of Billing and Schedule Manager. One thing too, I don't know if you touched on this also, Terry, was when you were talking about the new Schedule Manager features. I don't know how far you went into kind of the roadmap and the releases, and eventually that you be able to edit and do all of that with the new scheduler.
I don't think I did, but that certainly is our goal going forward as we are adding and bringing things over from the Billing Manager and the Schedule Manager into the web application. We want to bring that functionality too. It's just going to happen in phases.
Definitely, definitely. Well, obviously, Terry, you've done an amazing job explaining this. It doesn't look like we have any other questions coming in. I still want to leave that line of communication open for anybody who is on the webinar, that if something comes up later, please add a ticket in. And Terry and the team will be able to get back to you and help answer your questions. And like I said, this will be the first of many webinars going forward after we do our new releases. All right, so thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.
All right, thanks, everyone. Goodbye.